Hey guys, so I've been thinking about this quite a lot. I've been trying to come up with a way to make the Hunter Call of the Wild a more interesting game in between the major updates. So by that I mean like new maps, the new species, maybe even weapon DLCs. And as far as I can tell, the way it kind of works is that update will drop, everybody will come to the game, we'll get new players, we'll get old players coming back. They'll play for like a month, maybe not even, whatever the time frame is to kind of do everything there is to do with that new update. And then they'll go back to the other games that they usually play and kind of wait for the next update, maybe coming back every now and then. And I've just been trying to come up with a way to like make things more interesting in between that time period, like between the month after that update drops, like when everybody kind of starts to filter off to other games, and the next update. And what I've come up with is kind of an event animal system. And to kind of explain what I mean by that, basically a monthly membership. Now, it's hard to say what this would cost, obviously when I'm making things up entirely, but to throw a number out there, let's just go with, say, $5 a month. And what that membership would do is give you access to a unique animal once every week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, however long it would take the developers to create this new content. And some of it would take a little longer to create than others, but essentially, like, what this could be is, say, new piebald skins like that are different than the other ones. Say 1 week we get different piebald whitetails than the ones that are currently in the game, and then like after that time period, however long it takes, then they're gone, then it's back to the normal ones. Or we could do non-typical antlers, although I think they should be added to the game as a main feature that could maybe kind of premiere them in a way. Something like that. Maybe rares we don't have, like albino black bear could be a thing. Unique racks for like whitetails, say split brow tines, double beams, drop tines, stuff like that. And all of those would have like multiple size variants. You could say get a diamond, double beam buck, and stuff like that. I think that could be really, really cool. And I think it would give people a reason to continuously come back to the game. Now, with those event animals, they would be available for a given time period. Kind of as I said, they'd be there for a week, 2 weeks, however long the developers would choose. And then they are gone from the game, which of course they would have a chance, or they probably would just reappear later down the line, because obviously there is a limited amount of content. They can just only do so many things with the amount of animals in the game. Obviously not all of them they're going to be able to do unique things with, so there's going to have to be that. And it also gives people like that maybe didn't have a membership, maybe weren't playing the game at the time, to get that animal later down the line. Now, there should be a non-paid variant as well, so it's not just for the people that are able to afford it. Like, if you've bought the game, you should be able to do this in some way. And now this is something I'm not exactly sure how you would do, but my opinion is that it should probably only feature like one animal per month or every 2 months. It depends on like how often the content's coming out. But let's say it is every 2 weeks, then maybe the non-paid only gets every 4 weeks, and they get one of the two, probably the least interesting one. But of course, that's an entirely different discussion on how that should actually work. And that should maybe be available for less amount of time for them to get. Now, obviously, those animals should be tested, and we would need some kind of like beta server, ideally. I really think the paying members would be okay to just beta test them if they wish. Like, they're only getting more for what they're paying for with that that membership. They're only getting to hunt that animal more. You know, an easy solution maybe is to just give a unique code when you get the membership. I don't know if that's actually possible on Steam, but that code would then give you access to the beta as well if you choose to participate in it. Again, I don't even know if that's a possibility, but I think that would be an easy way to actually get a beta testing group. And I know what you're thinking. Like, why would this ever be fun? I get to shoot this weird piebald whitetail or a buck with a drop tine, whatever, take a picture of him, and he's gone forever. Now, that's where the next important part of this comes in. And maybe that's actually the most important part of this entire concept. EW would need to implement a way of saving these statistics for the animals, and because of the way the scoring system works, I think it would be pretty easy. They would just need like the trophy rating, the total score, the fur type, and maybe some other details like harvest date or the weapon it's harvested with. Because as far as I know, like say this moose that we just shot on the screen there, whatever his trophy rating is, if I shot another one with the same trophy rating, the antler system is exactly the same. I don't think, say, a 881 moose, regardless of who shot it or where it was shot, I don't think there's any differences in the antlers themselves. Now, I wish there would be a true rack system added at some point, but as is, it would actually be a rather easy save as far as I know. And why would they do that? that would be for trophy lodges. Those of you that play Classic probably already knew where I was going with that. And of course, we want somewhere to display our trophies and these unique event animals if that was to be a thing. Even if we don't get trophy lodges when the event is initially launched, when they were to be released, we'd have the animals already mounted and we could put them in the lodge because of saving the animal stats. Plus, of course, we could just put them in after the lodges come out once they're there. So yeah, that's kind of my main idea for keeping the game interesting in between the major updates, because, I mean, I notice it when I'm streaming all the time. I'll be streaming and just take, for instance, Africa, like, probably within 3 weeks, I start getting questions, when is the next map coming out? Or when the ducks were released, when is the next animal coming out? So, within a couple of weeks, people are starting to look for new content. And if it was something kind of quick to produce like this, I think, anyway, like a simple skin for animals should be somewhat quick to produce. I imagine doing new racks probably takes a little longer, but I feel like that would be reasonably doable as well, but it's still hard to say. But there's so much out there that I didn't even mention. I mean, non-typical moose are a thing, non-typical elk are a thing. We have multiple deer species that could be non-typical. Obviously, unique piebalds could always be a thing, just designing a new piebald skin. There's probably other rares that I didn't think of. I don't think we have melanistic rabbits. I'm not sure if those do exist in the wild, but I imagine they do. There's also an extremely rare, like, piebald melanistic, which is essentially white and black. That could maybe be an event animal as well. I mean, the possibilities aren't endless. There are obviously a limited amount of things we could do with this, but I feel like it could actually be a way of keeping people coming back to the game in between those major updates. So that is pretty much all I have for you guys. Let me know what you think of this idea, and if you have any other like additions to it, or entirely other ideas for keeping the game interesting. I would love to hear them, because I find myself, like, once I get my kind of diamond quest done here, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. I mean, for the past nearly year now, my entire goal it has been trying to get every diamond in the game. Now, of course, new animals are going to come out, and I'm going to get to continue that every time they do. But in between those, I would like to have something else to do, and I think these event animals could be a thing, because, as said, there should be the potential to get a diamond of those. Now, like, say, the fur type ones would be harder, but the individual rack ones maybe would be a little easier to do. So, again, let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear your opinion, and with that, thank you guys for watching and taking the time to hear this, and I will see you next time.